Hi guys, we are here in the town of Clarksville, Missouri. I'm standing in the Riverfront Park right now. In front of me is the Business District and Artists Row, where there's a bunch of cute little shops. And behind me you can see, I'll let Sam get a shot of that. And then behind me you can see Lock and Dam 24 and a push boat from the Tennessee Valley Towing Company. That's a new towing company for us. We've just started seeing them on this stretch of the river in the last week or so. So that's kind of cool seeing how things change as we travel down. But I'm here to answer a couple of questions from Bettendorf Middle School from Kevin Rolling's class. So these are a bunch of questions about the science we're doing and what kind of nature we've seen. So the first question is, have we started doing any new studies since we left the Quad Cities? We haven't started any new studies. We're doing our same set of studies for the entire length of the river. But we have taken a bunch more samples since leaving because a bunch more confluences have joined the Mississippi River and it's gotten even bigger and we've had to take more samples. People have been curious if we've seen any alligator snapping turtles. We haven't, unfortunately. They live further down south and they're pretty secretive and like to live near the bottom, so we might not see them at all. But if we do get to see them, it'll be further south in like Mississippi and Louisiana. People are also curious if we've seen minks. Minks are cute, furry little animals, so we saw a lot of their tracks and a couple of them up in the northern stretch of the river, and they've sort of disappeared. I haven't noticed their tracks as much. I haven't seen any on the banks, but we have seen a lot of raccoon tracks and a lot of different bird tracks in the mud on our campsites. So that's cool to see how the wildlife changes. Another question is if we've seen any invasive species. We have. We've seen the Asian carp, which is one of the most well-known invasive species here on the river. And they like to live in the shallows on the edge of the river, and they jump up when boats scare them. So we've seen a lot of them maybe when we've been pulling into a campsite or when we're waiting for a lock and dam to open for us. And they jump very clear out of the water and are big silver fish. Another question is if we've seen any native fish. We don't get to see a lot of fish other than those jumping carp because we're not fishing and we're not under the water, and that's obviously where the fish are. But right now here in Clarksville, we're staying with the Clarksville Boat Club. And those guys do a lot of fishing, and we spent all last night seeing photos and videos of all these monster catfish they've caught. They've caught ones that are 40 and 60 pounds that are as tall as a person. Big flathead and blue catfish. So it was really cool getting to hear their stories about life on the river and see some of the animals that are out here if you know how to go looking for them. Our last set of questions is sort of returning to the science experiments we're doing. People are curious if we have any results yet. Unfortunately, we don't have any results because we take the samples and then send them down to the lab, and then it takes a while for them to analyze everything. So they're done analyzing stuff from the last trip and are almost ready to formally officially publish it. And we've gotten to look at some of that data, which has been cool. But we won't know about our samples data until probably sometime next year. Some of the things that we do get to find out about right away are our field samples like pH and nitrates that we do using field kits that give us the results immediately. And in particular, someone at Bettendorf Middle was curious about the pH and if it's changed as we've gone downriver. It hasn't changed significantly. The pH has stayed right between 7 and 8, varying from site to site. And that's pretty normal for water that also has other nutrients and chemicals and stuff in it. Pure water is 7 and water is typically 7 to 8. So we haven't seen a lot of significant change there. That about covers it for this round of questions. Thank you so much. And if anyone else has questions for us, feel free to email them to us or comment on this video with them, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks, and have a great day.